YouTube, it's been a while. It's been a few weeks, possibly even months since I last uploaded. I apologize that I have been not so good at filming lately. I'll get into the reasons why I haven't been filming. Been busy working on a few things, which I will gladly show you. Two of which of these things you can actually see in this camera footage right now. Feel free to drop a guess what I've been working on. But other than that, I will get into what I've been working on a little later in the video. Right now I'm just gonna throw some old flatbed footage I have up, and we'll go from there. But apologies about the lack of filming. I suck. We'll get back to it. We've just been busy.
All right, so starting off with something random here. Check these bricks out. This is pretty nice that they did this at a rest area in Iowa. It's all this old farming equipment and such that they put on these bricks for decoration. Pretty nice rest area here. It was off I-80. I forget exactly where it was, but kind of an overcast, gloomy day. Now, I said I had some flatbed footage. I thought I did, but the last video was the last flatbed footage I had. What I've been up to, well, there it is. I ended up parking the flatbed. I need to do some work on it, and I've been yanking this damn box around. But before I got to yanking the box on my own, I had to park the truck at the house and do some work on it. Kind of got tired of working on it. So Abby and I hopped in the truck together and we took a couple loads together. I think we went down to Daytona Beach first, and then from Florida, we bounced back up to like Idaho, and then maybe somehow circled back home. But we did a little driving together, got some time together for a week or so. Here's some footage down in Florida with a little gator. That sucker was maybe 4.5, 5 feet long. When we went up to Idaho, we ended up hiking around up through, stopped at the Traveler's Oasis, and this is Snake River out back. You can walk to it right down the road from Traveler's Oasis. That's exit 182 off of Interstate 84 there, Traveler's Oasis in Eden. You can hike back here. Well, you could walk about a mile back, and then right off the bridge here, you could check this out. And we did decide to hike down. I told her, hey, we should jump, just aim for the bushes. And she said, no, let's go ahead and do the safe thing and walk down. So
you thinking what I'm thinking, partner? Aim for the bushes.
So thank you so much. If you understood the aim for the bushes reference before I had to input this clip, this is one of the funniest scenes. The fact they off both The Rock and Samuel L. Jackson within the first 10 minutes of this movie, hilarious. Thank you. We went down there and checked it out. Pretty cool. Gorgeous view, as you can see. And yeah, let's get a little closer to that water, and you'll see some fishes hanging out. What's up, mother fishes? So anyway, that's that. And here's some more dry van footage of what I've been yanking around. Well, we made it to our first delivery here at Furniture Row. It is dark. It is 2 a.m.
Unloaded this morning. I just stopped here at Ohio Travel Plaza. I don't know what town I'm in or nearby, right off the toll plaza, I-80. But didn't know if you guys didn't know, there's showers in there for free. It is BYOT, so bring your own towel. But and they kind of suck, not a lot of pressure, but free is free. And yeah, there's no excuses for some of you guys if you're running the I-80 and then not stopping in here to get a shower. Some of you guys. Posted up behind freaking Furniture Row here in Erie, Pennsylvania. Look how goofy that looks. Anyway, I just went and grabbed some dinner at the grocery store right up on the hill next door. It's called the Wiegman's. It's freaking an amazing looking grocery store. Gosh, this just looks so goofy to me. I miss my flatbed. The clouds came overhead, kind of cooled things down in the grass. It's like 10:20 a.m. and I don't know what to do with myself with all this unloading time now. I'm pulling the wrong trailer.
So I dropped off in Erie, Pennsylvania, then I grabbed a run that runs from Cleveland down to Tampa with some fireworks.
So this load of fireworks has been pretty smooth so far. I mean, I don't know how it's riding because it was sealed when I picked it up and they don't want us to break the seal. But I was just walking around double checking stuff here in Whiteville, fueling up, and I guess I'm not the only one who grabbed fireworks and is heading down this way. Fueled up and just took a shower here at the TA in Savannah, Georgia, just south of Savannah. I don't think I've ever been to this one. It's pretty nice. And it's freaking fantastic weather. Picked me up a Rockstar. You know, I kind of hate TA's drink selection. They just don't seem to have a bunch. Looks like another Landstar parked next to me, but still hauling that explosives down to Tampa. Gonna get there tonight. I get to park at the delivery, which is really cool. Looks like I got a homie. What up, homie? It's Tony.
What's up, homie? I'm Tony.
They're unloading right now. Pretty stoked. Got 2 free straps out of the deal.
So what you've seen so far is a run from Colorado out to Mishawaka, Indiana, then Erie, Pennsylvania with some furniture. I then reloaded up towards the Cleveland area and took some fireworks down to Tampa. After I unloaded in Tampa, I came back out north, and this is at the TA in Lake City, Florida, off I-75. It's like exit 414. That's 414, come on. But I'm such a nerd for little collectible models like this. I just think they're so cool. Fun fact, there is right here, that's an Impala SS. I used to have a Caprice, which is the same model version of that car. The shifter is located on the steering column instead of down below, which I actually prefer. But that was a fun car to have. Love me some VW Bug, especially that slammed one. Anyway, yeah, I'm a nerd for little models like this. So I hope you enjoy it too. But while I was there, I didn't like my steer tires, so I swapped them up and got some new.
Good morning, putos. So it's Friday morning, and luckily I just have a drop and hook, so I'm in absolutely no rush this morning, which is really cool. Just woke up, made some coffee, doing a little pre-trip, a little PTI. Gosh, I feel like I don't have much to do or talk about because I'm not pulling my flatbed, but there's a lot of great drop and hook freight here. So much so that this first week out with the dry van, I got lucky with like a phenomenal load in the middle, like good load in the beginning, phenomenal load in the middle, and then decent load at the end. But my revenue pulling the dry van matched like my high average of pulling the flatbed. So I'm definitely not disappointed. The only thing I'm disappointed with is the miles per gallon I've been getting, because you know, the tall roof and the mid-roof truck and the 8-foot gap behind the sleeper. But even when I'm pulling dry van, I can still manage to give you a little flatbed content. So let me show you something. I've only hauled one telehandler, but when you're hauling a telehandler, you should do this. So like I said, doing a little PTI, but I parked next to ATS last night, and chaining up a telehandler is pretty easy. You're gonna hit the 4 corners. He did all right here. Not how I would have done it, to be honest with you. But the main thing I want to show you is you have to throw securement over the forks. But if you care about your equipment and you're a professional, you're gonna put wood underneath the forks so it doesn't rub and, you know, cause irritation on your deck. Well, let's go look at that. As you guys know, if you watch my older videos, I had a 386. Mine used to have a window in the
sleeper, but this thing's dope. I love that blue color. And I saw last night pulling in, he has some sweet headlights. I think I might have had the same headlights, but that thing's sharp. I dig it, I dig it. But yeah, if you're wondering, am I gonna stay pulling the dry van forever? Absolutely not. I'll be going back to my flatbed. One day, maybe I'll pull a spread axle reefer. More than likely, I'll be pulling a 48-foot Conestoga flatbed eventually. I would die of boredom pulling a dry van again. I don't know how I did it for like 2 years. You know what's funny is the whole time I was doing it with my Peterbilt, I was intentionally saving up to buy a flatbed, and then something on the truck would be needed. Like, I saved up $7,000 and then boom, the turbo went. So I got the PDI turbo and exhaust manifold. And then I saved up another $7,000 and the radiator went. So I swapped the radiator in. And then, shit, I forget what all happened. I mean, I remember I saved up another $7,000. That was my number. I was like, I want to put $7,000 down on something that's like $25,000, $32,000, which is more than enough. Because this was back when TMC flatbeds weren't like crazy overpriced. But the price of everything wasn't overpriced, but I was gonna go for a used TMC trailer, like I have now, funny enough, but I didn't buy it directly from TMC. But I know I did something in the top end, like, oh, I needed a whole new freaking valve train with, valve train, camshaft, roller rockers. Had to pull the whole top end. You have to pull the camshaft out of the front and redo the whole top end because the camshaft was wearing down. That was also out of a $7,000 that I was saving up. So I just never got around to freaking saving up for my down payment for the flatbed. And then the truck took a shit. Needed a second rebuild before 1,000,000 miles, and I was like, not me, gang. Also on camera, in the shade it doesn't look like it, but in the sun I've noticed it looks like I'm glistening like a little princess. That would be the Aquaphor. When I wake up I put Aquaphor lotion on my face lately. Just switching it up from my normal lotion. But last night I stayed here in Alabama. And I've stayed at this, it was a mom and pop, got out by a TA. I forget the town. Here's the town name on the screen. But yeah, I like this TA. They paved it since the last time I was here. They're definitely revamping it. That big pile of dirt that you see over there, let me see if it'll focus. That big pile of dirt right there, see, is a TA. That big pile of dirt right there, they are digging out the fuel pump and burying the tank, so they're gonna have fuel back up and running here soon. But all right, time to put it in gear and get on down the road to Theodore, Alabama to take that load up to Owensboro, Kentucky. All right, pretty easy drop and hook here at John Maynard's. And then we've got this busted up ass thing on the front. Don't know what that does, but easy drop and hook. I'm glad I don't have the side skirts. The only securement I gotta do is a strap. Actually, I might grab 2 straps. But we got paper products. Paper. Da la 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 la, lots of paper. Just big ass rolls. Yeah, throw a couple straps up there around the back of it. Gonna lock it and seal it up. And that is our securement for the day. Simple, easy. And we're out of here. And a seal. Now what I actually hate the most about pulling dry van compared to my flatbed is 1, I don't have spread axles. 2, because with the spread axle, I never worried about weight. You know, you're allowed 40,000 pounds in the rear. I got a gauge in here. Let me turn that AC down. I've got a gauge in here, so it's easy to be like, all right, we're good. You know, and I also have a gauge on my own trailer. With the dry van, oh shit, I don't have to worry about weight with this. This is only 27,000 pounds, I think. Yeah, I definitely thought this would be heavier. 27.7.
I picked this up Friday. It's a drop and hook. I'm in and out in like 30 minutes. It delivers Saturday. Drop and hook, I grab an empty and I get out of there. That means I'm gonna be like staged and ready for the weekend. Excuse me, for Monday. Over the weekend, I'm gonna be empty. Completed my week, which normally I go Monday to Monday, right, for my settlements. But completed my week and empty, ready to reload Monday, whether it's a live load or drop and hook somewhere up there. So that's pretty convenient and sweet. All right, not a bad cruise. Picking up down here by Mobile, heading up to Montgomery, through Birmingham. The only shitty part is Nashville, and then hit Bowling Green, swing a left, and we'll be in Owensboro, right outside of Evansville, eh? So it's gonna be a pretty easy cruise. Only 27,000 pounds. I'm gonna see if I can, I wanna check the bridge laws, see if I could leave the axles all the way back, because I like running like that. I just think it looks cooler, especially without those stupid side skirts. Look long, you know what I mean? So this load's only 27,000 pounds. I thought it was gonna be heavier because it's paper product, but it's like a foam paper. It's really weird. I don't know how to describe it. It's very light foam, maybe like yay thick, rolled up paper. But when I was early in my career, I was driving for Swift. Within the first 6 months, I had this load, picked it up, took it to a cat scale. It was heavy. We're talking, you know, full load, close to 80,000 pounds. And my trailer tires were overweight. My drives were damn near on point. And my steers were lower than normal or whatever. I had room in the steers. So I moved the tandems and it threw my drives overweight. And so I kept going back and forth with the tandems, notch after notch, like, all right, where are we gonna be? Are we gonna be legal here, legal here? And I realized no matter what, I was gonna be overweight on my drives or my tandems. So I had to move my fifth wheel forward. And that was a pain and a hassle. Moving a fully loaded trailer, it's easier now that I'm more knowledgeable. But this is my rookie days. I didn't know, you know, roll the landing gear down and take some weight off and then drop the bags, and right when the bags drop, it pulls the weight off the fifth wheel and slide it forward. So anyway, I moved the fifth wheel. After all this work, I was there for like an hour moving weight around, double checking through the cat scale. I look at the route and it's 442 miles to my delivery, and there were 0 way stations on the way. And I was like, note to self, if you're ever in a predicament like that, check the route for the way stations first. So I'm gonna check the route, see if I'm not worried about weight. It's only 27,000. I'm gonna check the route, make sure I could leave the tandems all the way back for the bridge law, and get on north up 65. Oh, stupid Tennessee has a 41 foot to center axles mark, so I gotta move center right yonder. No looking cool. Man, easy drop and hook here, hit the guard shack and pull right in, but got a check engine light that popped up and it sucks. Because normally this thing can pull codes when they're active, but it cannot. Gosh dang, fat finger and everything. Settings, vehicle diagnostic. Why are you saying? There you go. Vehicle diagnostics, no diagnostic codes. It won't pull stored codes. And whatever this is, I think it's a sensor that just occasionally trips out. Because no active faults. That's annoying, but dropping and hooking, time to go grab an empty.
Alright, so after I ran that load of paper out of Theodore, Alabama, made it up here to Evansville, Indiana to start my reset. Now luckily I got some friends in Evansville and they said, hey, come on a cave tour with us. So I did. I believe, don't quote me on this, I believe this is Squire Boone Caverns, but I could be wrong. I definitely know it's not Moringa. But anyway, out towards Louisville, like in between Leavenworth, Indiana and Louisville, Kentucky, somewhere in there, like Corydon, Indiana, there's a whole bunch of caves, caverns, stuff like this. And so we went on this tour that took us down, and we rode this boat, and this is like a map that they've built of essentially what we're going to be going and doing. And we were like, I don't know, 140 feet under the ground. Right here, we're just in the visitor center. But yeah, here we start going down some like staircases and stuff, and ducking our heads so we don't clonk our heads on all the rocks and so on and so forth. So yeah, it was pretty cool. Went on a cave tour, so here's a little footage of that, and I highly recommend it. 10 out of 10. They're pretty knowledgeable. It's a fun tour, and you're kind of grouped into a tour with about 20 people, so just sit back and enjoy. And yeah, like I said, 10 out of 10. I do recommend. So that was like an albino crawdad that has lost its entire color pigment because it's lived underground down here in these caverns its whole life. So we're loading up where we unloaded Saturday, which is cool, I suppose. Just setting the tandems at like 41 feet. This trailer is like brand freaking new. It's really nice. But the it being so new, 7,800 miles, 7,802. It being so new, that's good enough. It's just a little sticky on the tandem sliding, but got it knocked out, taking toilet paper down to Dallas. These quick trip flatbreads are where it's at, but I think this lady was a little heavy-handed with the garlic parmesan and herb dusting. Tasting heavy garlic. It's not bad. It's just heavy garlic. Alright, y'all, this is sweet. I'm doing a drop and hook in Dallas, and it's sweet because this was supposed to be a live unload tomorrow, but one of my favorite sayings, a closed mouth never gets fed, which is better than the squeaky wheel gets the grease, which that, I don't like that saying, because that's kind of like the nagging, bitching Karen gets her woes answered, whereas a closed mouth never gets fed. I love that saying. Learned it back in like 2017 from a buddy who used to always ask, hey, it was my roommate, he was like, can I have some of your whiskey, or, you know, anything else that he wanted. He would never just take it when I wasn't there without asking. He would always text me or call me and say, hey, can I have whatever? And it got to the point where I was like, dude, you don't have to call. Like, what is mine, you're more than welcome to it, especially if it's the regular stuff like, hey, can I have some Crown Royal? And I wasn't home. And he was like, well, I always like to ask, you know, and just in case you didn't have enough to go around. And back in the day, I had plenty to go around.
life was good when I was working at a ski resort. But he told me that. He was like, you know, I always want to ask, a closed mouth never gets fed. And I was like, what's that mean? And I use it all the time now. So a closed mouth never gets fed. And I was able to do a drop and hook here because I was in Dallas 24 hours early from my appointment tomorrow. And I was like, hey, I'm in Dallas and I know we got some trailers there. Are there any empties? And they were like, let me call you back in 10 minutes. 20 minutes later, I was on my way here, and now we're out of here. Off to Tulsa, Oklahoma to grab a reload that takes me down to Florida. Made it to some little podunk truck stop. It's got a dirt lot and it's freaking all cratered up. And I love when everyone lines up good and parks proper so other people can get in. But then there's always these fucks like this that space out just perfectly enough an angle that, like, look at this gap. Dude couldn't do it straight. I hate people like that. All right.